Hello, beautiful kindred souls, and welcome to my spiritual oasis. Here, weary souls come to find inner wisdom and peace. We are doing a Soulful7 reading. It's a pick a group, I suppose, or pick a deck reading that is going to be focused on root work messages. Root work messages. Actually really quite enjoy doing root work messages, getting down to the root of who we are as individuals. A lot of this information in many ways is kind of hidden from us. It manifests in our everyday lives, in the way we walk, we talk, we think, how we think about various different things in our life, how we think about money, how we think about friendship, how we think about family, how we think about ourselves, are rooted in these energies. And sometimes, you know, those energies aren't always healthy. You know, we pick a lot of that energy up from our family, how we were raised, etc., etc. Some of it is ancestral. It's like in our DNA. Some of it is learned behavior in the environment that we were raised in. And as I said before, it's not always healthy. So that's what the intent and purpose of root work is to get down to the root of why and how we feel and think about various different things. A lot of the times messages from our ancestors come through root work readings and different things like that. So as I say with all of my readings, especially here on YouTube, these are general readings. So be mindful of that. Make sure that you're using your own powers of discernment and intuition to determine which messages, if any, are meant for you. If you are being drawn to more than one pile, more than one group, your unique message from spirit could be a combination. So feel free to watch more than one group if you're being pulled to do that. Keep an open heart and open mind. Being in a place of, I would say a place of peace and grounding would be helpful for these types of readings. If you need to wear headphones in order to like tune out noise around you is helpful. Sitting where your body is, from like your bottom, your butts, your bum, up through your head, is able to be in alignment with each other. It's also helpful because it allows that energy to flow right through your body from your root up through to your crown chakra. So again, we're doing root work. We're focusing on the roots chakra, which is at the base of the spine, where your butt is, your bum, as well. So the base of the spine there, and really just kind of navigating through some of those energies. This chakra is, in a lot of ways, it's kind of like our base, our core, what we default to. And a lot of the times things that block this chakra, fear is what blocks this chakra in a lot of cases. So just being mindful of that, because again, this is kind of like our feral sort of spaces where we just want to survive, right? It's our survival instinct, and we learn a lot of those lessons and messages from growing up, right? And what all of that means. So on that note, and before we get into our groups, I would like to invite you to join the Kindred family by subscribing to my YouTube channel. Click like on this video if something does resonate with you, as it helps out my channel and it helps other kindred souls find the messages meant for them. Drop a comment down below. Let me know which group or groups you decide to go with. And if you're interested in your own personal reading, you can connect with me on Etsy. So let's get into our group. So our first group is going to be on the left here, and it's being guided by our Spirit Animal Oracle deck. The second group is in the middle, represented by the Tau Oracle deck. That's going to be the guiding energy for that group. And then we have on the far right here, our third group being guided by our Daily Crystal Inspiration Oracle deck. So if you need a moment or moments to determine which group or groups has your message in it, you can pause the video at this time. You can meditate, take a few deep breaths, close your eyes, and get yourself into just a really grounded, calm place and space before you select your group and before you listen to your message. So I'll give you a moment to do that. pausing the video if you need to. Otherwise, we're going to get right into the readings. Hello Group 1, and welcome to your Soulful7 reading, where we're focusing our energies on root work messages. So those deep-rooted messages, we're connecting to the root chakra energy, and we're allowing Spirit to just guide these messages today. So you selected the Spirit Animal Oracle deck to guide your message. So let's see who is our guide today. The Sandpiper Spirit. Take a closer look here at your card. So the Sandpiper Spirit really wants you to connect to your childhood is what I'm getting here. Positive memories specifically from your childhood. The Sandpiper Spirit is encouraging play, is encouraging, I'm just getting like upbeat, happy, youthful sort of energy. I'm connecting to like the Sun Tarot card with just like a youthful sort of carefree energy. But I'm really feeling like childhood, and I realize that not everybody's childhood was playful and fun and carefree. But I feel like Spirit is asking you to tap into a place in your life, whether it be childhood or not, where you felt playful and happy and carefree. And I feel like there's a strong message around journaling about what you felt like, what you were doing, who you were with, where you were during those moments of play and joy and like youthful carefree energy. And again, it doesn't necessarily have to be from your childhood, because this is a general reading, but I am feeling the message here. It just feels very youthful. So when you just felt like you were just free to do and be who you were from a deep like perspective or a deep point of view. All right, so play. Also want to call attention to the fact that the Sandpiper Spirit is guided by the number 58, which reduces down to the number 6. And the number 6 is the number in astrology that connects to love. It connects to love in all its ways, shapes, and forms, but there's an enduring sort of kind energy, caring, like a fierce caring sort of energy as well that comes with the number 6, like a hopeless romantic energy as well. Feels very maternal, but it could be male or female energy, but it feels very maternal and loving and like a deep sense of caring. And I feel like when we are cared for and when we are loved in that way, it's quote unquote easier for us to be playful and carefree and open and feel protected, because we feel protected and we're able to be vulnerable in that way. With the dog spirits, there are more messages to me around like loyalty and safety and love. The dog spirit does talk about being loyal to what you love, and I'm getting a strong message around friendship. So this could be connected to some sort of, a close friend that you had in your childhood. Maybe they made you feel safe. So even if like your home life wasn't a safe place or a safe space, maybe being with a friend or a close family member, maybe like I'm getting like cousin or something like that, where you were able to be playful and free and fun and laugh and do all of the things that every child should be able to do. But I understand you're not always not every child has that, but they should. Strong messages around loyalty, friendship. If a person popped into your head, I feel like you're being called to like journal about that person and what you did together and the fun, you know, what was it about that situation that made you feel safe and made you feel loved and having fun and playing, like what. Just try to like journal whatever comes to heart, whatever comes to mind about that situation. Do you still have a connection with that person? And then we have the Giraffe Spirit, seeing the bigger picture. So a lot of this reading has been encouraging you to kind of take a trip down memory lane, really take a deeper dive into situations, places, and spaces in your life that in many ways are in your past. And I feel like the Giraffe Spirit, whether or not your past, your history has been overall positive or been overall kind of not positive, I feel like there's a strong message here in seeing the bigger picture and being able to zoom out a little bit from the current place and space, right? So you're looking at your history, you're looking at your past, and instead of being in that moment, because you're not in that moment anymore, you're looking at it like hindsight 2020 sort of thing, where you're looking back with a clarity that you didn't have while you were in that situation. And you are being asked to look at that situation from a distance. And I feel like this is important because a lot of the times trauma from our past is what stands out to us. It's what sticks with us. And there are some like biological reasons why that is. And a lot of it has to do with, protecting ourselves and not reliving those traumatic moments again, being able to recognize them and basically kind of like fight against them, if you will, as we continue on in our lives into adulthood. But I feel like there's a really just a strong message in general for you, Group 1, to find those moments of, happiness and joy and playfulness. And journal about them. Be specific too in your journaling entries, how you felt, what you were doing, who you were with, where you were. What season was it? Was there snow on the ground? Was it hot? Were you in a desert location? Just kind of like being really specific and as detailed as possible as you're journaling. And I feel like this is to capture youthful folly again. I feel like that's kind of the crux of your message, is to be able to capture youthful expression and youthful folly keeps coming to mind. So especially being guided by the Sandpiper Spirit. So we have the Son of Baskets. I'm gonna put this card over here. Okay, so in the Son of Baskets, the message that I am seeing here, so the Son of Baskets is like the page of cups energy. It's that watery, youthful again energy that really talks about creativity. It talks about an openness and an openness to love, an openness in all its ways, shapes, and forms. An openness to love, a curiosity and an exploration of who you are as an individual, how you express yourself, your creativity, your imagination. There is a limitlessness to this. Because it's suggesting, with that youthful energy, that you don't know what your limits are. So you're really being asked here to return to these youthful places and spaces in your life, so that you can. I'm trying to think of the right You're being asked to return to these youthful places and spaces in your life, to remember what it was like to be safe and have fun and just let go of burden. Because I feel like you're being asked to reconnect with your sense of imagination and curiosity and exploration of who you are. We have strength. Okay, I feel like this is very fitting here in this conversation because, you know, this strength card really talks about that inner strength, that inner world. And I feel like doing this is going to be really difficult for some of you. It might be easier for others, obviously, depending on the circumstances of your childhood. But I do feel like there are really strong messages for you around facing down these energies and not allowing them to control you, or not allowing them to control you, but facing them down and taking them on with a courageous inner strength. And then we have Aunt Caroline. I'm trying to think. Wheel of Fortune? Where is it? Here it is. This is the Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune. Yeah. So I'm just referencing this book here because the meanings often for this deck are a little bit different maybe than I interpret it for the Rider-Waite. Okay, so Aunt Caroline, being the Wheel of Fortune equivalent, indicates that fate is a factor regarding whatever you're inquiring about. So we're looking at fate. I feel like this is almost like a question that you've had. So I'm getting the message, and I'm feeling here that some of you had difficult childhoods. Obviously not everybody, but I am feeling that that's a strong message. And it might be triggering for me to ask you to relive or to even sift through your past and try to find something positive. And I feel like in some ways, some of you have been asking, like, was the trauma a fated thing? Like, was that a part of my, like, was that spirit putting that difficulty or challenge in my path? You often may rack your brain about what could have been differently, how you might have been able to change some of the challenges in your past. But the Wheel of Fortune and this question of fate kind of answers that for you. And personally, I'm feeling like that's a little too easy. Just, you know, yes, we are, especially when we're digging into root work, yes, there are a lot of things that are out of our control. We can't control the families that we're born into. We can't control who our parents or guardians are. We can't control the resources that we have when we're, a young person and all of that kind of stuff. And I feel like that's kind of a message saying that it's not your fault what the hand that you were dealt. And I also feel like there's a message around it's not your fault the hand that you were dealt. But you have the power and the control over your life to make your future whatever you desire it to be. And I feel like that's a really strong message too. So yes, kind of in a lot of ways, like, our roots are fated. They are what they are, and we're born into what we're born into. But that doesn't have to be the end of the story. I feel like this card also talks about luck and the fact that Spirit doesn't want you to overly depend on luck, but do understand that some situations and circumstances in our lives are luck-based. But I always like to think of luck as, and I heard this somewhere, that luck was where opportunity and preparation meet. And I think that that's like the best definition for luck ever in the world. Because again, it puts the onus on you. It basically says that there's a portion of this that is in your control, even if all of it is not in your control, if that makes any sense at all. Okay, so Aunt Caroline. I think she's taking a picture here, and I think the picture, like this idea of a picture is actually really interesting, because we take pictures to remember in a lot of cases. We take pictures to remember. We take pictures because we understand that our memory will fade at some point, or because we want to be able to share a moment with someone who wasn't there. So I think this idea of taking pictures, capturing moments, is interesting. It might actually be encouraging you to go dig out those photo albums if you have them, or talk to your mom or your grandma or whoever, to look back on some of the imagery, maybe even of your childhood and of your past, and maybe their past. And it might open your eyes, your heart, and your mind to information that you didn't have access to before. So that's kind of just a thought there. Okay. So we have Tangerine, which is connected to our sacral chakra, which is right above our root chakra. And it talks about innocence. How befitting to our conversation today. I am playful. Oh my gosh, you saw me shuffle it out. I'm not making this up. I am playful is the true statement. And you're being asked here to connect to your innocence, which is what we've literally been talking about this whole time. Whoa. Woo! When a reading rolls up your back and like gives you chills. Okay, so I feel like this card is also encouraging you to take a time out. And I feel like that's literally what we've been talking about this whole time. It's like, take a time out. Take a time out away from your responsibilities and your burden. And if you had a challenging childhood, you may even work harder than you ever have before, because you never want to go back to that place. And though that's not necessarily a bad thing, I do feel like there's a message here around taking a moment, taking a break, pulling up, sifting through and finding these moments of play and these moments of innocence and enjoyment and happiness, and reconnecting with your own innocence. I feel like as adults, we go through so much that sometimes we forget what it's like to be carefree. And I feel like that's kind of your overall deep-seated message here. Again, I said, tapping into that youthful, whimsical, anything could happen sort of energy. Let the burdens of responsibility go in this moment and look at your world with the eyes of a child. That's literally what the card says. I cannot make this stuff up, okay? And I actually think it's really interesting that we're connecting to your sacral chakra as well. I feel like there might be some messages here around reclaiming your innocence from, like, trying to put this in a delicate way, like reclaiming your innocence from a like sexual perspective, whether it was traumatic or not, there is some loss of innocence there when even if it was a perfectly fine and normal exchange of energy, when you lost your sexual innocence, there's still a loss there, right? There's a shift and a change in our energy, as we allow someone else's energy into our being in a very different, it's a very different feeling than an experience than it has been in the past, or than it has been before that moment. So I feel like with the sacral chakra coming up, I can't ignore that message. And our sacral chakra is also a place and space of creation. If we think about it from the biological standpoint, being connected to the genitals and the reproductive organs. But I feel like also spiritually, and like our creativity and other things are associated and attached to our place and space of creation, because it's connected to the sun sign energy. The sun energy, the fifth house, the house of creativity is also connected to like children. Okay, so it's all related and connected, and I feel like tapping into that innocence, reclaiming some of that innocence that may have been lost along the way in your childhood is there's a really strong message around reclaiming some of that innocence will also allow you to reclaim like your creativity and the things that you love and your imagination and all that sorts of stuff that's connected to like the Son of Baskets energy. All right, it's just getting real deep up in here, y'all. All right, let's pull one more card. Okay, so tension. This is our solar plexus chakral energy. I nurture myself is the message here, and I think that's a really beautiful message, and a really strong message we're going to connect to here. Release. Release is our key word. Releasing tension. I feel like that's physical tension. It could be mental tension as well. Anxiety. It's time to settle. So there are messages around rest. Create a sacred space where you can be. In that place of rest, healing will unfold. Okay. So you're asking to release. I'm feeling like releasing pain, anxiety, those difficult memories, releasing tragedy and trauma. And you know, if you've defined yourself with any of those low vibrational energies or messages, I feel like you are being called right now to reclaim that and find replace those negative messages with positive. So if you've associated with your trauma, you associated your identity with your trauma, I feel like you're being called to release those low vibrational associations and replace them with positive high vibrational associations. Again, so we've been talking about reaching back into to childhood and recalling times and claiming times when you were at a place and space of peace and happiness and playfulness and youthful folly and fun, and releasing the negative associations that you've had with your past, and again replacing them with something positive and from your present and your future. And then I wanted to pull a final card from our Tao. Message of like what's next? You know, what's the next step? What energies? Increase. Sharing, reaping rewards, overflow, expansion, flowering, encouraging fertile ground and abundance. Okay, so group 1, I feel like this is actually a really beautiful culmination to your message, because it's talking about, you know, I realize that I'm asking a lot of some of you to go back and to sift through these memories. And it's going to take strength and courage to do that. I understand that. I feel like on the other side of the difficulty, on the other side of the challenge, this feels very Saturn. It feels very Saturn, like there's a test happening, like Like there's, some of you might even be in your Saturn return right now. So typically the Saturn return is like age 27 to like in your early 30s, somewhere in there. Kind of that pocket of time. Or it could be 27 years after that, so you could maybe be in your 50s or 60s or something like that. But I think the overall message here, no matter how old you are, or if you're connecting with the Saturn message or not, it feels like the Spirit is asking you to reclaim your innocence by looking back on a time where, in theory, most of us were or should have had the opportunity to be the most open and pure and innocent in our lives, okay? Looking back at that time, and not just for any reason, we're looking back at that time specifically for those positive memories, right? We're looking at the memories that pictures are taken of, where there's happiness and there's joy and there's play and fun. And again, thinking about in detail who you were with, what you were doing, all of that energy together, and just journaling that, feeling that, and reconnecting with that. I feel like that's what the Son of Baskets is asking you to do, reconnecting with that energy, because it's going to allow you to reconnect with your creativity, with your self-expression, releasing any low vibrational associations that you've made from your childhood to yourself, okay? Releasing those energies and replacing them with these new energies that are going to be rebirthed. And that this action of looking back from a different perspective and point of view is going to actually bring you abundance. It's going to bring you increase. It's going to remove the blockages that have, those energies that have been blocking you from feeling worthy, from understanding that you are worth whatever you desire, that you should be respected, that you will accept nothing but respect because you respect yourself. You understand that you are worthy. You understand who you are from that internal space. And you're going to get there by reconnecting with your innocence. And this might and very well will require you to face some challenges too, right? Because as you're sifting through the memories, it's impossible to isolate just the good ones. You might have to look through some of the difficult ones too. And again, that's going to take that courage, that strength, that you do that. And I feel like doing this in a safe space, don't do it all at once if you can't. Take time, use the whole week, use the whole month, use the whole year. It doesn't matter. Time doesn't matter in this situation. It's about you getting where you need to go at the end. Understand that there might be some things that are difficult and challenging, but you do have the strength to persevere. So beautiful, soul. This was super intense. I hope this was helpful for you. If something resonated, drop a comment. Would love to hear from you. Click like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, of course, if we're not already connected here. And if you're interested in your own personal reading, you can connect with me on Etsy. Link is in the description below. Thank you so much for your time and your beautiful energy, and I will see you in an upcoming reading. Bye. Hello Group 2, and welcome to your Soulful7 reading, where we are focusing our messages on root work. So Group 1's message was super intense, deep, and in-depth. So we're going to go ahead and dive in on your group. We're using the Tau Oracle. You chose the Tau Oracle. And so I want to talk a little bit about this deck because I love it. This was the very first Divination deck that I ever got. And I still connect with this deck. It's a very balanced deck. The energy in this deck is so balanced, and pure, and it just, yeah, it's the balance to me. So I feel like there's a strong potential here that you're looking for messages around balance, and maybe even how to balance some of those rooted messages with life, and how you're living and progressing through yours. So let's go ahead and flip over your guiding message. Okay, so we have the marrying maiden, and I feel like there are a lot of messages coming to mind here. But the first one is that you potentially feel like you're in bondage in some way, shape, or form. And this doesn't even necessarily have to be a conscious thing, but there's something binding you to, I'm feeling like a memory. It could be a memory, it could be a person, it could be a situation, it could be something that happened where you maybe didn't advocate for yourself, or you let someone do something to you that you weren't able to speak up for yourself, or you didn't speak up for yourself for whatever the reasoning was at that time. But it just really, this card really talks about being in a compromised situation, being subordinate to someone. It could just be a feeling as well, that maybe when you're around a specific person, it could be somebody connected to that rooted space, so like a parent or guardian or family member, where you just feel subordinate, you feel small, you feel like you can't say exactly what's on your heart and mind for whatever the reason. And the reason why I say this is because as parents, and I'm just really getting this vibe, and it feels like either a father or mother to me coming through really strong for some people, especially if you were raised with I'm specifically talking about in the African American community. I know in some other communities as well, but obviously because I'm African American, I'm speaking from my perspective. Culturally, there is this sense of respect, and the idea or concept of respect is very entrenched in the culture. And I know this is in a lot of cultures too, especially non-American cultures. This is very strong, that in some ways, even as adults, you can feel subordinate, or you can feel like you can't say or speak up for yourself because you're afraid of disrespecting, an elder or something of that situation. So there could also be questions around self-esteem, potentially even manipulation. For some reason, I'm getting Libra energy or Libra vibes. You might have strong Libra placements in your chart, which means you're kind of, in a lot of ways, you put other people's energy before your energy, and you're kind of like a peacemaker in a lot of ways, which can cause you some challenges and difficulties standing up for yourself, because you don't like to rock the boat. We have the number 9 associated with the marrying maiden as well. So number 54 reduces down to the number 9. And the number 9 is about transition. And I feel like this needs to be brought to attention because moving from a place of bondage, obviously we don't want to stay there. We want to be freed. So that kind of puts us in a place or space of transition. And when we acknowledge that we're bound, we automatically we're in a place of transition, because now we're trying to figure out how we can get out of the situation. So just kind of keeping that in mind too. And the lightning bolt also kind of talks about an aha moment, oh my gosh, you're realizing that there's some kind of bondage. And like I said, it could be for some of you a physical situation where you're, maybe you are literally married, or maybe you're in a situation where you don't feel like you can get out safely right now, or you can't leave this person. Maybe you're living together and you don't have a job, or maybe you don't have means of being on your own, or you don't have family nearby, or whatever the case may be. You might physically be in a situation where you don't feel free, that you're free or able to make the moves that you want or need to. This could also be like emotionally bound or spiritually bound, familial, you know, like there could be a lot of different interpretations for this. So keeping that in mind as well. Son of Baskets loves to come up. I flip him a lot. We have the Mother of Coins. Three of Knives. All right. Yeah. So. Three of Knives. Let's look at it. It's an intense message. The Three of Knives really talks about going through a tough situation, and that the only way to actually get to the other side of it is to go through it. So this particular message could be something that's been on your radar for a while that you just haven't addressed. You maybe been avoiding it or ignoring the signs because you don't want to deal with it, or what, you know, whatever. It's all a bunch of different reasons why we might be here. But I think there's just a strong message around the situation isn't going to change until you change it. Okay? No one's going to, you know, there's no white knight sort of deal. No one's going to sweep in and do the work for you. You're going to have to do the hard work. The Sun of Baskets, the Sun energy is page energy in this deck. So this is basically the Page of Cups. And the Sun of Baskets is really encouraging you to, I feel like there's an encouragement to explore your creative gifts. And I feel like there's also a message around, are you in exploring, tapping into, connecting, respecting your creative gifts? Are you doing what you are called to do? Are you making yourself small in order to satisfy someone or something else? Could be a job, a person, whatever. A parent, a lover, partner. But I feel like you're being encouraged to explore your creativity, your creative side, trust and tap into your intuition again, strengthen your intuition, your powers of discernment. If there's a message saying that you know who you are, but you might not be like embracing that person that you know for like basically fear. You're afraid of shaking up the ground. You're afraid of not having the comforts in life. So the Mother of Coins does talk about worldly comforts. And, you know, the Mother of Coins shamelessly indulges. And I feel like there are messages like this could even be talking about you. Like you might have a good life right now in the situation that you're in. You might be aware of the fact that you're bound in some way, in some unhealthy way, but you might be kind of ignoring it or just accepting it because things are okay, things are good, or at least some things are good. Your worldly needs are not only being met, but being exceeded. I feel like there's also other messages around like caring for yourself, doing things for yourself, treating yourself, and maybe you're not getting that. So you could be on either side of that. But I feel like there is a prioritization of the physical world, which is in this unhealthy situation, requiring you to suppress some of your other sides to yourself, your emotional space, your intuitive space, your creative spaces. So just being mindful of that. Speaking of intuition, we have a third chakral energy with our cedarwood, which talks about connection. I am grounded in my body. Use your empathic abilities to connect with others. You might be a Pisces, I'm feeling. Discern the information you receive and do not take on what is not your own. I feel like a reconnection or connectivity to your own person is being called for in this card. Especially if you're feeling like it, in some way, shape, or form, there might have been a disconnect happening. These cards are really slippery and they just kind of fly everywhere sometimes. Okay, so let's get one more. All right, solar plexus chakra. So we have Cypress, I surrender, and the keyword here is resilience. Allow yourself to relax with the currents of life. These changes will take you even closer to where you are meant to be. You could be locking yourself up too. Like this bondage could be from you, maybe even you pursuing, right? You pursuing worldly things. Maybe you're, killing yourself in business or a job or something so that you can have that apartment, or that, you can live a certain type of lifestyle. But then that's also kind of forcing you to reject other parts of yourself as well. And there just overall feels to be a message around you not being you not being true to who you are. And I'm feeling like maybe that was something you saw growing up, since we are talking about root work. Like maybe you saw your mother, or your parents, or your guardian, or whoever pursuing various different things in their lives in order to have a certain lifestyle, rather than being true to who they are and following their true north. Are you going down that same path? A lot of the times we do. So this is the card. Antelope Spirit is the card that popped out for you here. Life is speeding up, the Antelope Spirit says. It's a number 2 energy. I feel like before it speeds up, okay, so this is what I feel. I feel like it's going to speed up. But before it does, you're being asked to kind of take all of these different things into consideration. You're being asked to dive into these issues. Like, are you really living your life from a place of truth? Are you respecting your path and purpose? And there's no shame in the answer. But being real and being truthful with yourself is important. So we had Phantom Quartz pop out, embrace change. That's what we've kind of been talking about, that there is a change. There is a change on the horizon. It's coming. And you have to make the decision on what changes you're going to, if any, embrace. Will those changes be in the direction that is in alignment with where your soul should be going? Dealings or relationship with the man with the dark complexion or hair. So this could be the person for some of you that's bounding you. Could be. For some of you, obviously not going to be applicable to everybody. And then we had the cane. Pay attention to your health, which I think is connected to the Mother of Coins. Make sure that you are caring for yourself. And then we have keep your life in balance with the scales. Yeah, I just feel like overall there might be there just feels like there's some sort of a dishonesty surrounding the way you're living your life right now, and it's bondage. So whether you are under the control of someone else or feel that way, whether you're connected or bound to someone who might not have your best interest at heart, maybe you're at a job you hate but pays really well, or maybe you are following in the footsteps of a parent or something that maybe didn't live to their truth and path and purpose. Whatever that looks like for you, I feel like there's a message around change, that you're in a place and space of transition as you've acknowledged that you are that you are imbalanced. That's what the scale, you're imbalanced. So you're being called to rebalance yourself or acclimate yourself. As you go through this change and transition, make sure that you pay attention to your health. Make sure that you are doing some things for yourself, but that you're not overdoing it, right? Balance, balance, balance. Make sure that you are tapping into that inner space, your intuition, you're strengthening your sense of self and your solar plexus chakra energy. Yes, you deserve it. Yes, you are worthy. Yes, you deserve respect and nothing less. Self-love, self-care, self-esteem, self-worth, self-respect, all of those different things are connected to the solar plexus chakra that you are being encouraged to pay attention to, and make sure you're keeping those healthy connections and boundaries there. And again, intuition and creativity to me are big questions, and just knowing that this isn't going to go away. You have to go through it in order to get past it. Yeah, but these are the messages that I have channeled for you today. I hope this was helpful for you, group 2. If something resonated, do drop a comment down below and let me know it did. I love hearing from you. If you are interested in your own personal reading, you can connect with me on Etsy. Click like and subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're not already connected to get more videos like this so we can dive deep. So thank you again so much for your time and beautiful energy, and I will see you in an upcoming reading. Bye. Hello group 3, and welcome to your Soulful7 reading, where we are connecting to root work root work messages today. So those deep-seated energies that are kind of just a part of our person, we don't necessarily know exactly where a lot of them came from, because some of them are genetic, DNA based. Some of them are connected to how we were raised as children, thought processes, and different traditions and other things that are just kind of a part of who we are. And as we know, some of those things aren't always healthy. So we're digging down into some of these matters here and just shaking loose some messages that we can pull forth to work on for this week, month, year, whatever, depending on your reading. So let's go ahead and flip over your guiding energy. We have Ocean Jasper. Schedule yourself in. So the first messages that I am receiving with Ocean Jasper is the fact that you've not been paying enough attention to your health, wealth, wellness. You've not been allowing yourself to rest enough in a lot of cases. you've not been getting the massages if you need them, or the facials if you need them, even if those are home things, right? Depending on the pocketbook, I get it, but there might be things that you're doing at home. You might not be getting enough sleep. You might not be setting enough time aside to do your meditations and other spiritual work. So there is just an overall message here for you to pay attention to yourself and your body, and make sure that you are setting aside time, literally scheduling in time for yourself to do something for you, okay? Filling your cup up first is the priority for you this week and moving forward. Allow yourself to receive. I love that message, especially to those of you who are just super hardworking and you're always loving and caring and nurturing other people. Well, you also need that nurturing and love, and you deserve it. So allow yourself to receive that. And with Carnelian here, feed your creativity. It's really important to tap into those creative places and spaces inside of ourselves. And again, I feel like all of these three cards to me are very much so connected on you doing something really positive and strong for you, okay? So keeping that in mind and heart. And I would also pay attention to like how you were raised, your parent, your guardians. Like, were they the type of people who did things for themselves in a healthy way? Did they take time out for themselves, or did they just kill themselves for their family, or do everything for everyone else and never anything for themselves? I think it's important to really think about that. And it's not saying that they're good or bad or anything like that with however you answer the question. It's just like being mindful that sometimes some of this stuff is embedded in us and we don't even like know where the root came from. So, you know, like my mother, for example, didn't spend a lot of time like pampering herself. She didn't go to the spa. She didn't do any of that kind of stuff growing up. So I never saw that. You know, my father didn't do any of that stuff either. So I didn't see any of that stuff growing up. So now as an adult, I have to be conscious and cognizant of whether or not I am scheduling myself in, you know, whether or not I am allowing myself to receive and doing all those sorts of things. So that's what I'm saying. Like, because these are root work messages, you are being asked to go a little bit deeper, okay? Like, truly, like, use this as a journaling opportunity. Journal, you know, whether or not you saw your parent or guardian, whoever raised you, like scheduling themselves in. Did they take time out for themselves? And you saw that as a child or not. Like, note it, because it's important to you and your growth. So we have Dr. Buzard, which connects to the Justice card in Tarot. And I just feel like fairness is the message here. Fairness, and fairness specifically for you. Are you being fair to yourself? Are you scheduling yourself in? Are you making time for yourself? Are you filling your cup before you try to fill up others? You know, that should be a priority in your life. Then we have the Daughter of Baskets, which is connected to like the Knight of Cups energy. So I feel like these are just messages of love, allowing yourself to receive, you know, messages of love, messages around encouraging your creativity and you know, exploring your spirituality and doing things that you love and that are beautiful and that are healing for you. Really beautiful, strong messages for you today, group 3. We have Aunt Caroline. So Aunt Caroline to me it's the Wheel of Fortune card, and I feel like in your particular reading, Aunt Caroline is really talking about she is talking about memories to me. And I feel like we've already kind of talked about that, like journaling about what you remember as a child, and specifically about like self-care and, you know, how you were taught to care for yourself. Like, for example, in my childhood, you know, it's a lot of like physical stuff, right? You take a bath, you brush your teeth, you know, those sorts of things on how to like keep your body from deteriorating and keep your body clean. But there weren't a lot of messages around like mental health and wellness. Like, never saw a psychologist. That wasn't even like anything that was on the radar, right? If you need to talk to somebody, set that up for yourself now as an adult, even if it wasn't something that you did as a child, if you feel like you need it. And I feel like we all need to talk to somebody at some point in time. So even if just to remind ourselves that we're not alone. Then we have Melaleuca. I'm totally just destroying this name. Melaleuca. Okay. If you know how to pronounce this, you know you can put it in the description for me. You could drop a comment for me and be like, hello, person. Anyway, this essential oil is connected to the solar plexus chakra space, and it talks about evolution. I attract only what is for my highest good. The imbalances in relationships that have been keeping you down are no longer needed. You are ready to transform. I like this idea of transformation, and I feel like that message could also be connected to our association and connection to our, parents and and the people that raised us as well, keeping in mind that, they're people and humans, and not everything that we saw growing up is the right way. And we are constantly figuring out what the right way is, particularly or specifically for us, for who we are as individuals. And we need to live our right way for ourselves, and to show our children, if we have them, what your right way is, and they will, I'm sure, make tweaks to it and figure out what a more advanced, I guess it's just kind of like continuing to advance the technology, right, of self-care and how we care for ourselves and respect ourselves and ground ourselves and all of that kind of stuff. And we pass these lessons on, and they pass the lessons on in a more evolved version of them. And I feel like we, even in our singularity, are evolving, okay? Constantly trying to find the next kind of version of ourselves. And that's what our journey is about in a lot of ways. I'm getting snake spirit coming to mind and heart here, where you're shedding those skins so you can grow. You're shedding that old skin so you can continue to grow. And then we have myrrh, which this is a root chakra as essential oil, and it talks about support. Okay, I move forward with divine grace. Take comfort and know that you are supported. Nurture your inner child and connect with the earth. So I feel like there are messages here around just being in nature, or having nature, that energy in your physical space. Maybe you have some sort of plant or something in your space, or you just spend time in nature, going for a walk in the park, or going for a hike, or whatever you connect with, as well for that. So myrrh. And also feel free to investigate these essential oils, because some sort of a blend, you can make some sort of blend and use that as a way of also connecting with your sense of smell, and not just your sense of hearing and your sense of sight, because of course this is a video, so you're getting stimulated from sight and from hearing, but the essential oils also allow you to connect through another sense as well, the sense of your sense of smell, and also touch, because you're often touching the essential oils as you apply them to your person. All right, so let's get a spirit animal, see who comes out. Who's coming out to play today from our spirit animal? Cat spirit. Claim your independence. The number 13 reduces down to the number 4, by the way. And the cat spirit, I feel like this is very fitting for your reading today. I know the cat spirit's kind of hanging off here. See if we could shift some things without completely muffing them up. There we go. That works. All right. Yeah, but I feel like this idea of independence is really strong. And I feel like in your message as well, right? You're talking about creativity. You're talking about scheduling yourself and allowing yourself to receive. It's to me, it's very focused on you as an individual. And I feel like there's also, you know, this message of independence. I feel like there's a message like no one's going to do this for you. Nobody's going to schedule you in. Nobody is going to allow you to receive. You have to do these things for yourself. You have to acknowledge them as important and make the determination that you are going to fold these things into your life. Quite literally, I'm encouraging you to do this week, because these are the Soulful 7s for the week. I encourage you to create a time budget for yourself this week. And I mean, every hour is accommodated for. Block it out on your calendar. However, if you have a physical calendar or if you have a digital calendar, block off chunks of time. Like, I am asleep from 10 p.m. until 6 a.m. I am taking a shower from this time to this time. I'm working out from this time to this time. I'm eating from this time to this time. I'm traveling to work, or I'm traveling to drop my kid off, or whatever. Block out all of the chunks of time should be accounted for every day this week. From whenever you're seeing this video, the next 7 to 10 days, you are creating a time budget. And I want you to schedule yourself in, literally schedule yourself in this week. Okay, this is meditation time from 7 to 8. And I'm going to follow this calendar. I don't know about you, but my calendar in a lot of ways is Lord, okay? I look at my calendar like, okay, what do I have to do today? And when I actually went through this exercise of budgeting my time, I found that it was easier for me to, first of all, account for a lot of the time that I waste, by the way. We waste a lot of time. And that's not to say you can't, like, schedule in play, schedule in fun things, schedule in, you know, watching that TV show or doing whatever. Like, this is your time budget. Do whatever you want with your time, just be conscious of your time. That's what this whole exercise is about, is being conscious of your time and making sure that you're scheduling yourself into your time. You're not just allowing everyone to kind of everyone and everything else to eat away at it, okay? So that is my challenge for you this week, group 3. And we're going to pick kind of a final card, see what our culminating message might be for you for this week. Small is beautiful. Oh my gosh, I love this. This is happening. Small is beautiful. So this card with the lightning bolt and the mountain is almost like a request to contemplate. It's almost like having an aha moment about paying attention to detail, looking at the things, slowing down, and really kind of like putting a magnifying lens to life. Schedule that in this week to like spend some time just really contemplating the beauty of something that is relatively small. It could be literally anything. There are so many things that we could consider small, but the lightning bolt is almost like an aha moment, like a shock to the system. Like sometimes we're out there and we're looking for bigger. The bigger is better, and all these other sorts of things, and expansive energy. But I just feel like you're being encouraged with this card to be contemplative about smaller things, and they could be tangible or intangible things. Find the extraordinary in the ordinary. Keep it really simple. Use discretion. Slow down. Tend to the details and pay attention. This card is connected to the number 8. So the number 62 reduces down to the number 8 in numerology. And the number 8 is the number that's connected to karma. It's connected to achievement and giving. So obtaining, which is achievement, you obtain, you achieve, you gain, right? But also the flip side of that, the balance of that, which is giving back. And so I feel like in the spirit of balance, which is what Dr. Buzard talks about and the number 8 talks about, is this idea of, we often look at the big things. Now it's time to look at the small things, right? Where we're balancing things out. And it is this balance that brings us groundedness, that brings us stability. So this idea of independence, the number 13 reducing down to the number 4, and the root chakra energy connected to the word, or to myrrh here, in support. We are supported by balancing these energies. Scheduling yourself in, allowing yourself to receive, feeding your own creativity, making sure that you're making time for you is balancing out all of the things that you do for other people. So everything is really about that balance. And, we balance the past, the present, and the future all the time. We look to our past for knowledge. Sometimes our past influences our present and our future. Almost always, right? We're making decisions based off of experiences that we've had in the past. Sometimes that's good. Sometimes that's a challenge for us. But I feel like it's being conscious and cognizant about what energies we're pulling from the past, and that we're being honest about it too. That's why I'm really asking you to journal these things down. As you schedule out your week, as you budget your time this week, journal about it. Was it hard to create that budget? Would you do it again? What happened when you did it? Journal about it every single day. Put that time in there. Budget that time to journal and really just think about, what that means. I mean, I actually did it for a couple of weeks, and it was a really good way for me also to say no to stuff that was, just to say no to stuff that I didn't want to do, or stuff that, like, you just kind of say yes to stuff without thinking, or you look at your calendar, you're like, oh, I have nothing in that time slot, so okay. It's like, no, you do have something in that time slot. And what you have in that time slot is you, okay? You have you in that time slot, so you don't have time at 7 on Wednesday to do whatever this thing is, okay? I feel like it helped me to say no to stuff, and it helped me be more mindful about how I spend my time. And it also it gave me permission, because that's what budgets really do. Budgets give you permission to spend money, spend time, spend whatever you're budgeting, right? Whatever you're budgeting or budgeting for. I think we often think about it from a financial standpoint, but that was really life-changing for me, thinking about time like I think about money, literally, and like scheduling, budgeting it out like I do my financial budget every single month, like life-changing. So I really hope this is helpful for you, beautiful soul. These are the messages that I have channeled for you. Please do drop a comment down below. Let me know if you're going to try doing the time budget. And also follow up and let me know how it went for you. And also understand that if this is the first time you've ever done this, it's probably going to be difficult, because the first time we do most anything, it's difficult. So I do want to encourage you to try it more than once. But once, starting point, right? The starting point. Click like and subscribe to my YouTube channel if we're not already connected here. Of course, liking the video and commenting, engaging in this content. Well, first of all, it helps me know the things that you enjoy seeing here on my channel. Let me know if you have suggestions for other types of Soulful7 topics. Some people suggested like a divine feminine message, so I will definitely do things that you want me to do. Yeah, of course, the engagement helps my channel, and it helps other kindred souls find the content and the messages that are meant for them. If you're interested in your own personal reading, whether it be a root work reading or other type of reading, you can connect with me on my Etsy shop. The link will be in the description bar below. Thank you again so much, my beautiful soul, for your time and energy, and I will see you in an upcoming reading. Bye.